Welcome to the Opportunity Podcast, where entrepreneurs come to learn from real buyers, sellers, and industry experts on the lesser-known growth opportunities to build their online business empires. We'll uncover tactics veteran online business entrepreneurs have used to build, buy, flip, and sell their way towards personal wealth. Sit back, grab a coffee, and get ready to uncover hidden growth secrets. The Opportunity Podcast starts now.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Opportunity Podcast, your go-to resource for hitting growth opportunities throughout online business. For those familiar or new to the podcast, I'm Sarah, and thanks for joining me today. In this episode, I'll be talking to our very own Jim Barton, the affiliate manager at Empire Flippers. We are buzzing with excitement today because Jim is here to discuss the launch of the Empire Flippers referral program. Not only will Jim dive into the ins and outs of the referral program and the many opportunities it presents, but also give us a behind-the-scenes look at what it takes to create a referral program from scratch. Jim shares the helpful tips and tricks he's picked up along the way, as well as valuable advice for entrepreneurs hoping to create a referral program of their own. Whether you're searching for a new way to generate extra income or the blueprints to create a brand new referral program, Jim has all the expert knowledge you're looking for. Let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Opportunity Podcast. I'm really excited to have today's guest on. We have Jim Barton joining us. Jim Barton is a member of Empire Flippers Own. So Jim, welcome to the show. How you doing today?
Great. Thank you for having me. Very excited to be back, officially a recurring guest on this wonderful program.
I love it. We were joking that you're trying to oust Greg for the recurring guest status.
Yes.
And, we've now got a popularity war going. So if you guys out there want to help Jim out on his quest to become the most popular recurring guest,
yes,
get buckled in. This is actually going to be a great episode. We've got some really exciting stuff to go over today. But just curious, before we get into stuff, where are you calling in from in the world, Jim?
So I am in Valencia, Spain. Yeah, Valencia is pretty cool. We were just talking, the weather is not great in this region. Right now it's been raining for like 2 weeks, but I came in for Fallas, which is a really cool festival. There's like big works of art in each like neighborhood. And there's like awesome like marching bands going on all around the city, and people are throwing fireworks everywhere. It's pretty crazy. They're basically just like small explosives, actually. Some times it's terrifying, but yeah, it's been a really good time.
That sounds so awesome. Yeah, like you said, weather's been dismal. I'm not far away from you right now in Portugal, so I have less fireworks to pull me through dismal weather. I'm kind of jealous of you at the moment, except it does sound a little bit scary. I'm not going to lie. I've seen that before in Thailand during our last retreat ages ago when we were all together. There was one of those festivals where they just throw fireworks at like eye level. You just have to hope you don't get hit.
Yep.
Good times. Well, speaking of fireworks and explosive things, we've got a pretty explosive topic to talk about today.
Segue.
Yeah, there we go.
Jeez.
Well, this is exciting because I like to think of this as, and I'll do this clumsily because I know you'll do it a lot better than me, but this is this exciting new way to make money online without owning an online business. So we're going to get into the new referral program that's launched and get all into the nuts and bolts of that. It's going to be some good stuff. Before we get there though, I mean, you've been on the show before, you've told your story. I guess we haven't caught up with you in a while. So I'm wondering if you could tell me a little bit about this transition into, what led you to kind of come over and start and run this new referral program.
Yeah, previously I was a seller advisor here. So I was doing some exit planning with some of the larger businesses that come onto the marketplace and kind of guiding them in getting ready for the big exit. And it's a long story, but we've been thinking about this referral program for quite a bit. And now we're finally doubling down and really going big. And we're very excited to get things rolling here. And, we're not going to be doing this in a fashion that's going to be unorganized or anything. We've got a lot of stuff. Well, I guess we'll talk about later. But basically, it's a whole thing. And I'm now in marketing too, which is really cool. So, but I'm heading up the referral program, and it's very exciting.
Yeah, so everyone knows Jim joined the best department at Empire Flippers.
Ooh, shots fired.
Not biased at all.
Right.
So he's working with us now, and it's been a lot of fun to have Jim come over and spearhead this whole thing. I know there's a lot of backstory. I know there's a lot of things that I don't know that kind of led us to this point. But when you and I have spoken about this in the past, I thought it'd be really interesting to just kind of discuss the general landscape of typical referral programs. Because, my understanding is that there's no one size fits all across the industry. And so walk me through that. So people understand, what we're doing here and kind of what's available. What does a standard referral program look like across, say, the online business industry?
Yeah, so it's a good question. And so other brokers have had referral programs for a long time. And a lot of times can be the majority of their business sometimes. And we have not really pulled that lever yet. So this is kind of like we've pretty much done everything else. A lot of the folks that we work with are inbound. They find us through, all the content that your team puts out. And now this represents us saying like, hey, we think we really have something special here. And we're happy to reward people for kind of steering people our way. Yeah, that's typically kind of what it looks like in the industry. I mean, of course, if we're talking about like kind of like affiliate offers and stuff in sort of like, for SaaS products and that sort of thing, that's sort of like a different animal. But yeah, in the brokerage industry, there's been referrals for quite a while, and we're finally throwing our hat in the ring.
Well, talk to me about maybe a little bit more on the motivation there, because, from my understanding, there's been referral programs kind of across the industry. And why now? Why did we make the switch and go, okay, we'd like to offer people a little bit more? Look, I'm basing this off of the assumption that probably, very loosely, people had referred us businesses in the past, and maybe it was like, a friendly handshake and, hey, we know you guys, by the way, there's just an opportunity, friend at Empire Flippers, and, kind of informal. Obviously, that is something now that we've switched up and gone, okay, we really like to make this more of a formal process, more of a rewarding process. So, I mean, was there a flip switch with that?
Exactly. And again, there was some debate here as to how we would do this. To begin with, we only offered this to former sellers and buyers. We want to make sure that the people that we're working with really understand us and the process and can convey that to the people that they're, referring. Hopefully those were kind of the more, I guess, the handshake days. And now we're kind of, going with a more kind of formal, more systemized method of doing that. And, kind of to your point, people have been sending us recommendations since the start. And this is us kind of formally saying thank you and kind of spreading the love a little bit, basically.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited to talk to you about that part because, we talk success stories at the end, but it does sound like spreading the love is a good way to put it. It sounds like it's already working out for some people in some really promising ways. So it's exciting. But before we get there, we probably should talk about the logistics and what makes up this program. So first off, maybe just some definitions, like for people who don't really understand, like how does a referral program differ from, say, affiliate contracts and other types of payout partnerships?
That is a good point. And in the beginning, we were going to call me an affiliate manager, and we've changed the nomenclature there to referrals. I think mostly because it just kind of sounds a little bit more grown up for our industry. Compared to other affiliate offers, you're often doing a lot of volume. You might not have much of a relationship with, either the product that you're actually promoting or, your audience, for instance. Whereas here, typically you're going to be closer, to the person that you're referring. And deciding to either sell your business or buy a business is typically a very big decision. Whether you choose, Jungle Scout or Helium 10 is, an important decision for your business, right? And those are two SaaS companies that, an affiliate program. But yeah, this is a much larger kind of decision. And so that's why we're calling it, referrals. And that's why it's a much more impactful decision.
I know this is something, you and I had spoken about before. Like I find availability of, say, affiliate opportunities in this space and the wider industry kind of like a fascinating thing to look at. My understanding, and again, just an outsider here looking in, is that I kind of feel like affiliate and referral opportunities might not be the same that they were years ago. And especially if we're looking at, say, content site owners, for example, their commission that they got from Amazon would have changed and diminished increasingly over the past few years. Other affiliate offers might have died up as well. And so I think that's what's kind of exciting about what this opportunity offers is it's kind of like saying, hey, we understand a lot of people in our industry, in our space, they are monetized via their businesses in all these different ways, including affiliate opportunities. However, that's not always been the easiest road. And this sounds like this has got a whole lot more promise for people, especially people who may have been making money via affiliate sites, for example, and had that kind of be impacted. I don't know if you had any thoughts on that, or if maybe I'm completely off key when I say that.
That's a really good point, actually, and not something I thought about, but definitely, I mean, big example, right, that we've seen that impacted our marketplace quite a bit is the Amazon Associates program, which is just Amazon's affiliate program. And, during COVID, when a lot of people probably could have used, some extra cash, they slashed their affiliate rates
They sure did.
without any warning or anything.
Yep.
And that quite literally had impact on businesses on our marketplace. We have a lot of Amazon associate sites for sale. So yeah, I mean, affiliate marketers are seeing commissions go down, maybe not across the board, but certainly in certain industries. And this definitely represents another opportunity, especially if you're in our industry already, to kind of plug and play. And that's where people can reach out to me. And I guess we'll talk about the process and everything. But yeah, without doing a ton, potentially looking at very big ticket referral commissions here.
Absolutely. I did want to talk about that. And thanks for setting that up because it's such an interesting opportunity. Like we'll talk about the logistics, but I like that there's let's say a bit of hope to continue to make money online in new ways when some of the consistent methods were a little bit impacted, let's call it that, in the past couple of years. So let's get into it. Walk me through the nuts and bolts of how this referral program actually works.
Right. So, I mean, essentially, it's done two different ways, right? I mean, for one, we have seller referrals, which is basically like, hey, you're referring somebody that wants to sell their business, and then we pay out a percentage of the commission. We also have buy-side referrals, which are less common, but are certainly available. And that's for someone that comes in, verifies their liquidity, unlocks businesses, and actually makes a purchase. So this is for somebody that actually does business with us, right? So this is not like a lead gen opportunity. We're not like paying per lead. We're paying out commission when a deal gets made, basically. We offer 20% of our commission, which is intentionally pretty generous. Typical broker commissions are usually around 10% of their commission. So we're coming in hot here. And as far as like actually getting paid, again, I would say, sellers get paid when we get paid, right, by the buyer. Referral partners, again, an extension of that, basically get paid when we get paid, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So I think in the context of what you're just saying, you're kind of referring to earnouts, right?
Exactly. Yeah, good clarification. Meaning, so if, let's say, the seller sells their business for 70% upfront and then the rest is paid in an earnout a year later, we would literally make those same commission payments to the referral partner at the same time. So they would get 20% of our commission upfront, paid out immediately, and then they would get 20% of our commission on the back end a year later as well.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify that and make sure I wasn't missing any details there. I like that you just pointed out there's a bit of a difference in what we're offering here. We're coming in hot, offering 20% when the industry standard is 10. We can probably talk about what that impact looks like and how much of a difference that makes here later on. But worth noting, everybody listening, like it is a whole lot higher than everyone else's. So consider that and keep it in mind. Walk me through, what does the process of making a referral look like?
Yeah, so basically two methods right now. There is the old school method, which is simply an email introduction that can be made directly to me. And obviously, when I talk to people and onboard them, we walk you through this process. But basically, either send me an email, or if there's enough referrals coming in, I'll have a dedicated contact for you, either on the sell side or buy side with an analyst there. I'd have to be CC'd on it. Obviously, I'll take care of the tracking manually on that. Otherwise, the more exciting part is sort of the new school, which is we've rolled out referral links. So this is essentially like an affiliate link style linking system. And that can be sent to anywhere on our website. You can send somebody to a blog post. You can send them to the evaluation tool. That's a favorite of mine, and then one that I encourage quite a bit since it offers some value there. And the other thing as part of that is we offer a 2-year cookie on these referral links, which is pretty crazy. Like typically you would see like, a 30-day cookie, something like that. Obviously, we've made this even more generous because, the average lead time for us between when somebody discovers us and actually does business with us is a long time. Right. So we've again made this very generous on that front. But along with that, there's a black and white to that, right? So one thing we're not doing, the process for not making a referral is just tell somebody to call us and then mention their name or something like that. We want to keep this easy to track and, kind of foolproof. I mean, I've actually run into this before where someone's like, hey, I totally referred this guy. He just sold, a few days ago. And it's like, well, you got to actually make the referral ahead of time. So that's one thing. It's very generous. However, we're keeping very firm lines on what counts and what does not count as a referral.
I don't know if you have any examples, and this is probably obvious for many people, but maybe not obvious for some others. Like, talk to me about that referral link. Like, walk me through some use case scenarios for somebody where they might be able to plug that link, use that link. Are they using that in their content? Are they using it in specific scenarios? Yeah, I don't know if you have any picture of that.
Yeah, definitely. And it depends on who we're dealing with, which we might dig into a bit later. But, if you're, let's say, it's just a blog, right? And if you've already maybe done some reviews on different brokers or different solutions in our industry, you could just simply plug a link in there and then have people come in that way. If you're a YouTuber and you've done some, reviews, in the industry or something like that, you could plug a link in there. Or even if you just, hey, I like this Empire Flippers article and it's related to the content I'm discussing, you could plug it in there. You can share this with anybody. If you're in through email as well. I mean, I think the link is definitely, it's a more foolproof option. And I think one thing that's different from what it used to be is referrals don't have to be like, hey, this person wants to do business with you right away. It can just be somebody that's interested in, kind of what's going on over here, right? So that's why I really like the valuation tool, because you're sending somebody something that is valuable. And then also we're going to, nurture that relationship going forward and hope that they do business with us down the line.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I appreciate the clarification on that. I guess one thing that caught my ear when something you said earlier.
We're on a podcast. This is the audio.
Yeah, I want to say
here,
catch my eye, but then I'm like, well, I can't see you, Jim, but I know you're there. You were talking about kind of the use case scenarios of what did and didn't count. And I just want to make sure that we clarify all of, I guess, the rules there, because people will probably be curious about that. So would there be limits on countries or geolocations or any other scenarios where someone might make a referral and that doesn't qualify?
Yeah, so that is a good point. I mean, for one, as far as the location, that's not an issue. We do business both buy side and sell side all over the world. I think most of our buyers end up being American, but there's more even split, I think, with sellers. So there's no worry there. As far as what's not going to count as an actual referral, that just comes down to whether we're going to actually do business with this person or not. Meaning if somebody submits using your referral link and they start the vetting process with us and it ends up that they're not actually qualified to list, maybe they ran out of inventory and the last 3 months have been, very, very steep decline, right? We're going to take a pass on that business for now. We might continue to nurture the relationship, but that's not going to count for the time being. So basically it just comes down, there's not going to be any special treatment for people that have been referred, right? Everything has to adhere to our process as usual. So typically it just comes down to, are they qualified? Yes. Okay, they've been listed. That doesn't mean it's going to sell necessarily, right? We could see something, happen in migration in which the deal falls apart or something. These things happen from time to time. So just because a seller has come in on your link and you would potentially get credit for that doesn't mean the deal is going to close and doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get that referral credit, if that makes sense.
I appreciate that. I think that's such a good note, because we certainly don't want people getting hope and thinking, oh, I referred that business. I know that business. And, just because they got into vetting, for example, doesn't mean they're going to pass. We know
right.
How that goes. We have the vetting team for a reason to go through and make sure we are adhering to having quality businesses in the marketplace. I think that's good to note. Well, I think you're referring to this before, and I'm spoiling the fun, probably jumping around here a little bit, but walk me through.
Always fun.
Always trying to, less fireworks over here, but still trying to make it fun. So I assume that you kind of have an idea of the different kinds of people who could use these links and those use case scenarios, as you were hinting to. Talk to me about how you categorize the different types of referral partners and the different people that could make use of this program.
Yeah, and it's good to bring up because, for the listener out there, you might be thinking, okay, how do I integrate this into what I'm doing, right? Because it's going to be completely different for each type of person, each type of business. Yeah, I will mention you can be a referral partner as an individual. We also work with large brands and audiences and that sort of thing. So on that front, you're kind of unlocking more potential there. We're very interested in we could even talk about it later, potential content collaboration opportunities, that sort of thing. So that's an opportunity for someone to kind of broadcast throughout their brand or their audience. Hey, here's what's going on with Empire Flippers. By the way, here's a referral link, etc. I've been working with some communities as well, whether that be like a mastermind or, kind of like a paid community, that sort of thing. That's a good opportunity for people to, again, sometimes you're just educating people on actually being able to sell. Sometimes it's whether to sell with us or someone else, etc. We've worked with some agencies as well. So if you're like a PPC agency for Amazon FBA, for instance, you might have, let's say, 25 clients or something like that. It's an opportunity where, when they're talking with you as one of their partners and they're talking about an exit, you might say like, oh, well, hey, have a conversation with Empire Flippers. And again, we're happy to kind of reward people for that. And especially with agencies, maybe we're getting into the weeds here, but sometimes, business is going to be rolled up into a larger organization like an aggregator or something like that. They might be offering those services in-house. So you might see a client churn when they actually go for the exit. So for you, it's not a happy day, but in this way, you get kind of a cherry on top. And you get kind of a nice little thank you for helping them grow their business to the point in which they can make that exit. And so we can keep going. Service providers like, SaaS products, that sort of thing, especially related to the industry, we're very interested in partnering with. And then finally, kind of the more one-off referral partners, which is, hey, maybe you have a mastermind or you just have a group of, a network of colleagues. Yeah, you could just kind of mention us or point people our way. And that's another one. I guess finally, I'll wrap up and say we also work with like kind of the influencer type folks, YouTubers, tremendous opportunity there. And as well as like online course operators as well. Oftentimes, they'll be doing that in tandem, right? They'll be doing YouTube and like an online course. And yeah, you can stick those links in your videos or in the descriptions on YouTube. And even if you want to make some content in your online course about steering businesses towards an exit, I think that's also, something very high value you can do for your audience as well.
Yeah, that's an interesting take. I hadn't really thought about that for like influencers and course creators, and there's plenty of them in the space, plenty of opportunities in the space, people who want to learn. It's like, okay, think about what you could be making from your course, but then think about this potential very nice cherry on top down the line where you've created a course that maybe has a bit of evergreen potential. While, your evergreen potential is just kind of increased by quite a bit, being able to add this link in, knowing that, this could be leading people to sell their businesses thanks to you. I mean, I don't know. I like it. It's another like dynamic way of making money on top of things you were already do to make money, whether you're an agency, an aggregator, an influencer. Like, it's cool. I'm not saying that, I guess, from the biased perspective of being here. I just think to your earlier point about what the norm was in the industry and so many people being impacted, probably the worst time as an affiliate during early on in the pandemic when Amazon cut their stuff. It's like, I think everybody's kind of in a position to fight and stay relevant and make sure they're still earning a living online in a very uncertain world. So I think any opportunity that kind of comes out and offers that and offers like a pretty sweet deal can be pretty exciting for most people.
Exactly. And I could even give, a bit of a story. For instance, some of our best referral partners are obviously former sellers and buyers because, they've had a good experience here and they go on to become brand evangelists, which is great and a lot of fun. And it's fun to, continue to kind of partner with them down the line. So like, for instance, we had one seller who is, and I won't go into too much detail here to, not to dox this person, but they sold their business it was a large KDP business. It was, I think it's just short of about $1 million. And they posted on YouTube pretty freely about their journey. And they have an online course as well. They've just with one video, I believe, have racked up 1,000 plus clicks. Just looking at the back end here, 150 registered users. They've got 3 potential buyers reviewing businesses. This is, again, all data we can see and you can see as a referral partner on your dashboard, which I guess we can talk about. And then 12 sellers, about 3.3 million in businesses listed on the marketplace or about to list. And that would equate to about 150K in potential commission. Again, none of that has closed or anything, but this is all data that we can see. That's close to like a full-time job,
Yeah.
or more so, And this is all coming off having a good experience here and just sharing that with their audience.
Oh, that's incredible. And again, it's just one person doing their YouTube videos, right? And you
Mhm.
think about what you're already making on YouTube, and most people are usually fighting to make any money off of YouTube. And it's like, well, yeah, now you have the opportunity to make some like really, really good money off of
Yeah.
YouTube and all these other things. So do talk to me about that dashboard though, because that's pretty cool that you can just like jump in and have all that data. So talk to me about the tools that are available to you and the referral partners to track their referrals.
Yeah, so the dashboard basically encompasses three main items. The first item is kind of what we already talked about in the links. So there's basically like a link creator. Again, you can send anybody to anywhere on our website and that'll work. There's a few default options there as well. Second section is going to actually show you what's going on. So those numbers that I was able to pull, you'd be able to see on the back end as well. So that would show you your number of clicks that your links have gotten. That's new users. You'll be able to see sell side statistics. You can see when people have submitted to our vetting team, meaning they're intending to sell. Right now, we also have buy side statistics. So people that have verified funds, meaning they're now like a seriously interested buyer, you can see how many unlocks they've used to review businesses. You can also see if they've engaged in buyer seller conference calls as well, which means, probably pretty close to a potential deal. And of course, obviously the big one is the amount of commission that you're owed as well. So that's the fun one. And then maybe even more fun, we're just rolling out. This will be live by the time we release this. You'll actually be able to see, like, if you've been in sort of a sales position, you'll be familiar with a pipeline. And this will have like a pipeline view per each deal that you've referred, meaning if someone, and this is for sell side only at this time, it's a bit more complicated on the buy side. But for people that have referred someone looking to sell, you'll actually see, okay, they're in vetting, where they're at in the process, then they're actually listed, you'll see that. And then you'll see when they're actually in migration, and you'll see when the deal closed, and then finally when you're owed a commission. And that's mostly because at this time we've had a lot of interested referral partners come to me and be like, "Hey, what's the deal with, that deal that I referred you? What's going on?" So hopefully this will give you kind of complete transparency without me having to bottleneck, the whole situation. So yeah.
And to clarify, and forgive me if you've said this before, but I don't think we got into it. Like having this dashboard and like this much data in your hands, that's not the norm for the industry, right? Like you don't know of anyone else out there you can kind of like track things in this way when you're referring for online business buying and selling.
That is a good point. Yeah, for other, type of affiliate dashboards are not uncommon, but for a broker or someone that's, is paying out referral commission on these types of deals, yes, it's very unique. And we've actually had referral partners straight up just say like, wow, like, I was considering, working with somebody else, but this system is so far ahead of what's going on over there. I love the transparency. I love that I feel like I can actually trust this, this system. Yeah. Some people have actually, just straight up decided to work with us based on that premise. So yeah, and we're always open to feedback too, by the way. So if you are coming on as a referral partner and you think something could be added or something, we're open to ideas too.
Well, I guess with all this in mind, why should people refer to Empire Flippers instead of another, say, broker or aggregator?
So a couple things there. One, I think as far as brokers go, one, we can handle sellers and buyers. So I think that's fairly unique. I'm not sure how other brokers would handle that. Aggregators obviously don't handle buyers since they are the direct buyer. And on that front, some aggregators do have referral programs, but you have to remember the incentive structure there. They're incentivized to get a deal for as low as possible. It's what they do essentially. Whereas our fiduciary responsibility is to the seller. And so we're trying to get the highest price possible there. Not only that, but since our fiduciary responsibility is to the seller, hopefully the referral payout will be higher anyway. Other reason, again, we have a very unique technical system that's making tracking much more easy, much more transparent. We've got the 2-year cookie, which is, again, I feel very generous for sure. Got the custom linking system as well, which allows you to point people anywhere. Doesn't have to be a direct, this person's going to do business with us right away. Yeah, the other big one I'll mention, and again, I feel like this is almost too generous, but you will get paid for everything that, this referral does with us in that 2 years. Meaning if they had multiple businesses to sell, you would collect referral commission on all of those.
Wow.
For instance. Same thing with the buy side, which again is pretty generous, I think.
Yeah, I mean, to build off of that, I know we talked about that one YouTube video that's already killing it and has got so many different earning opportunities. Was there anything else that you saw that you were really impressed with? Like, oh my gosh, I didn't really realize like this could be so successful for one of these referrals or referees. I actually don't know. When you are the referrer,
Yeah.
like iron out some of the language there. But yeah, talk to me about success and what you're already seeing for like the early adopters of this.
I love talking about success. Let me tell you. Again, I guess back to the nomenclature, we would say referral partner is the referrer.
Okay.
And then we usually just call a referral is someone that was referred, if that makes sense. But
Got
that's,
it.
yeah, something I've also had to roll around in my head quite a bit. And as we shout out to our engineering team as well per each variable, everything that's been coded. But in terms of early success, we've had some really cool stories. Again, some of my favorite ones are previous sellers, just because they do just end up turning into brand evangelists, and it's just great. And we're here to support them as well. For instance, there was one guy that didn't have a great experience with another broker. He was a little hesitant. We ended up selling his FBA business in about 2 weeks, I think, for about $500K. He made a couple podcast appearances and had mentioned us. And that's where we're like, hey, let's reach out, and we're happy to, reward this person for, sharing their experience and kind of putting us in a positive light. So yeah, he's been making rounds to different, media outlets, et cetera. And now he's really able to have like true entrepreneurial freedom, not only through his exit, but also through having essentially kind of like another salary on top of this. I think he's had 2 successful referrals that have been paid out so far. I won't get the details, but I would say, again, more than someone's potential salary as well. And yeah, he's basically got like a second job that is not super difficult,
Not an actual job, not
Right.
a whole lot of time put in there beyond here's the link, right? Which
Yeah.
I think is the beauty of it. And that's why
Exactly.
these programs are so enticing in the first place. Is it's like being able to make a chunk of change without the time commitment. And the beauty of this is like, well, there's quite potentially a large chunk of change you can get from just kind of doing the right things early on. So
Right.
yeah, pretty cool.
And this ties back to I'm still waiting for the first Empire Flippers full-time referral partner. So come at me, somebody. Let's chat. I think there's definitely a lot of opportunity here for people, especially if you're kind of positioned in the industry in a way that is conducive to that.
Yeah. You were saying before, like people with agencies, it can kind of work out for them. Like I was super curious about that angle. If you've already seen any success for people who have an agency that they're running, let's say like a PPC agency or something like that, and they've been able to find an angle for this.
We have just recently, and again, I won't names. You would actually know this person. But yeah, they had, I think initially we had been talking about some sort of collaboration. We met at a conference or something. And yeah, then I talked to them about the referral program. And they mentioned one of their clients was looking at exiting. They introduced us. There was a conversation. They've listed and now sold. I think they're in migration at this time.
Okay.
Actually, I'd have to double check. But yeah, so definitely an opportunity. And again, I could tell they were much more invested in seeing their clients exit. And I think it was just a feel good situation. I know at Empire Flippers, we have like a win-win, the seller wins, the buyer wins, Empire Flippers win, right? We take a commission. And now we're extending that to 4 wins.
Wow.
Sarah, how amazing is that? It's the 4-win solution here. So now a referral partner is also getting in on the excitement too.
Yeah, it's nice for people who have clients that they really care about industry. It is a nice way for them to like plug in and offer something even more than what they were already offering their clients and being a part of their exit in some way. So yeah, I find that to be cool. I mean, of course there's like the financial reward, but there is that nice like, we just watched everyone be successful at the end of the day. I think we need more like happy endings at the moment. So like, kudos. We need happy moments.
Yeah. And also, I'll piggyback on that too. Sometimes I'll mention, I think some people think that a referral partner needs to be doing something. And really, it's mostly just the introduction. And that's basically it. There's no needed upkeep or anything. However, we do have, for instance, if you run an agency or something, some people want to like help out on the deal. We've had people actually like represent somebody on the deal or consult with them on the deal. That's fine too. And that's a way that, some people prefer to operate. So that's also okay.
Okay. That's an interesting angle as well. I could see that a lot of experts in the industry might be curious about like being in the know and in the deals in that way. So that's cool. I had just a couple personal questions for you because I'm super curious about what it's like to do this from scratch. I think there's a lot of people out there who are going like, cool, I think referral programs are cool, but I've always want to know how to start one. And I think this is such an interesting opportunity to talk to somebody who's started a program from scratch. So I was wondering, could you walk me through that and talk to me about, some of the obstacles and things that you might have had to overcome?
There were no obstacles. It was so easy. Everything
So
made
smooth.
sense instantly. No, it's a lot to organize, it's a lot to think about. And depending on your business, building a referral program or, an affiliate program can be pretty daunting. And there's not a ton of like content out there about this. I mean, there is, you can certainly, dig around and figure things out, but there's not like a ton of people of like, here's how to build an affiliate program. There's not, an overwhelming amount of that. So yeah, glad to offer any insights that I have while bumbling my way through it. I guess the big one is we ended up having to build our own custom solution for this. That's probably not recommended for everybody, but just due to the nature, we're sending large bank wires around the world, whereas most people are just using a payment processor, right? So that kind of ruled out pretty much every kind of affiliate, solution out there. But there's a bunch of them out there. You can Google around, like we like Partner Stack and a few other options like that. But that's something to think about is what is the best technical solution, because tracking is the most important thing, I think, to get, having a solid foundation is very important. Other things like finding and connecting with the right people. If you're going to be doing more like strategic partnerships, with other businesses in your industry, connecting with the right people is important. I find that anybody with the like partnerships role, strategic partnerships, that sort of thing tends to be very open to this. And it can be kind of a longer and daunting process for making those bigger connections, but I think that's definitely worth it for sure. Something I'm running into is, don't be afraid to turn down folks that aren't quite perfect fit and set expectations about what is a good fit here. I've had some people be interested without really, having like a plan and that sort of thing as to how they would be referring folks. So again, something else to think about. Piggybacking on another thing I mentioned, I think focusing on integrity first instead of growth is, the most important thing here. We've done a lot to build out the back end, make sure everything is being tracked accurately. Again, that's the most important thing. Then you can focus on growth. And that's something that obviously I'm interested in the future, but up and foremost, want to make sure that we're focusing on integrity and tracking and everything like that. I mentioned before, but investing time and energy in your high value partners is something that's definitely, again, everybody's different. So having some coaching goes a very, very long way. And you'll see growth coming from that as you strengthen relationships. I think focusing on the people that you're working with already instead of finding new people to work with, new affiliates, new referral partners is probably a best strategy in the beginning. Yeah, that's a lot to throw at people, but I think that's, kind of covers some of the lessons learned in this whole thing.
I think those are some really, really good lessons. What you were just saying about making sure to prioritize the right relationships, maybe even get some coaching. I mean, I know not everyone's as fortunate as you to have spent the past few years already kind of talking to the right people in the industry and having the skill set to do what you're doing. I know it's not easy what you've taken on. You've had to build something quite complex from scratch. So, I mean, I'd say kudos to you for kind of fighting through that and despite any of those things that came up, just kind of continuing to build this. I guess on that note, you're already seeing early success. We're not even like fully out and launched and, this thing is like roaring yet. It's going well, but, yet is the big question. And it will here soon. But what does it mean to you personally to see the impact that the program's already having without even being like out there in the world totally?
It's been fun. There's a lot of obstacles and things to figure out. But just to see the early impact, I think we're okay with sharing this, but right now there is a little over 20 million in referred businesses listed on our marketplace right now, which is pretty cool. It's a big number. It's gone up in the past few quarters here. So again, this is exciting to kind of add this as another growth driver for Empire Flippers. And again, just personally, it's a fun conversation to have people with. This is sort of like the feel-good add-on to Empire Flippers. Like I mentioned, more people get to win with us, which is really cool. And that's why, I love having these conversations. I love kind of empowering our referral partners and to kind of have these conversations and see them do well. So it's been fun.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's an interesting way for people to be making an entire living online, probably some of the most minimal work possible. I don't know. Not for everybody, of course, but
I think not a ton.
Not a ton.
I do think it works better for folks that have something for this to plug into already.
Yes.
If you already are someone in the industry, you already have a lot of connections. For instance, to tell another story, we have the guy we were talking, he's been in China, and for a while he has a lot of e-commerce connections there, manufacturer connections, etc. And so, kind of someone definitely in the industry. And we were talking about him being a referral partner. He was also listing his business with us. And just so happens we sold that in less than a week. And he's like, wow, you really made my job easy. Cool. And yeah, has had, I think at least he's had one successful referral so far and is still spreading the word. But like I said, it's cool that he's able to now like monetize his goodwill and all these strong connections that he's made in the e-commerce space to kind of make a genuine, recommendation for our service. So
oh, that's
cool
awesome.
stuff.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to see more people win in a new way this year. Again, I'd say kudos to you for fighting through and getting this up and running and helping some people already see some probably what was unimaginable success to them. I think I'd be shocked if all of a sudden it's like, here's your giant check. And it's like, oh,
Right.
It works. That's cool.
That's a fun check. Yeah, that's a fun one. Yeah, people are just like, oh, wow. Yeah.
That's so cool. Well, Jim, I've got just a couple rapid fire questions for you. If you're cool with that, I will fire them off.
Definitely.
So, what are the best hidden growth opportunities, I'd say, within referral programs?
Hidden opportunities within referral programs. I still think the best one is actually coaching and helping your referral partners or your affiliates out with strategy on an individual basis, I think is a big one. Doing things in the beginning that don't scale immediately is crucial to seeing early success, I think, with your referral program.
I think that's really solid advice. I like that one. Okay, so, have you found any tools or resources that you found to be helpful while you've tried to build out this referral program?
I sort of. Mostly not because, again, Empire Flippers is such a unique business in so many ways. We know this within marketing that we're just so unique and not everything that is out there kind of applies to our business scenario. Get out there and check out other affiliate programs. That was kind of what I did in the beginning, just to see what was going on, understand, terms and agreements and stuff like that, and what resources everybody's offering. So yeah, get out there and just apply to a bunch of affiliate programs if you're looking to build your own.
Cool. I like that one. And final question, sometimes the hardest. What has been your funniest moment while creating the Empire Flippers referral program?
Oh, that's tough. I think I already gave it away though. My favorite was when I was like, yeah, I might be a referral partner. And it's like, boom, we sold your business in a week. He's like, wow, well, made my job easy. That's probably my favorite one.
That's awesome. Yeah. I love that. Nice full circle there. Well, cool, Jim. I mean, I feel like I've interrogated the hell out of you to tell me all about this exciting program. So thank you so much for coming on and being a good sport and divulging so much. I really do mean it when I say, I think this is endlessly exciting. It's a really cool opportunity for people. And if you're the right person who can qualify, go for it. But hey, don't listen to me. Listen to Jim.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Well, thanks, Jim. Excited to see where we go next, and good luck with the launch and scaling this.
Thank you so much. And it's been a lot of fun. And yeah, anybody feel free to reach out to me if you are interested. I think you'll see this in an email from us for sure. So
okay, cool stuff. All right. Thanks, Jim.
Cool.
Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. I hope you've walked away with a bit of new insight that'll help you in your digital entrepreneurship journey. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or leave a rating review. To learn more about businesses available for sale at Empire Flippers, click the link in the description or visit empireflippers.com/marketplace. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.